We are gonna trim the goat's feet today, but we also need to trim the girls. So you're being a good girl now. Some of these girls have really big nails, so I know I need to use the grinders, but I just haven't yet. I'll get to it eventually. I need to get them more pretty. Get them more pretty now. Pinky. And it's Pinky's turn. Hers are a little longer. You gotta move that way. There you go. There you go, Pinky. We're trimming goat feet today, and we're just trying to get all the goats together because the girls like to get out. And we will start with Bella, I guess. So we got Sweet Bella here. She is my Nubian girl, and this is who I get all my milk from to make all my wonderful goat milk products. So we're gonna start with her feet here. I got my hoof trimmers. Just gonna get all the mud out first. And hers aren't that bad. We try to keep up with this at least once a month. We'll get everybody out, and I just trim the excess that's sticking up over the sides. And you can see some of it might be curled in a little bit. But you want it all just a nice, flat, even layer. Now I have gotten some goats before, well, their feet are grown out pretty bad. And it's taken quite a while to get them back the way they need to be. So they're not going to be as nice and flat and short because it's a process to get their feet healthy again. Which you'll see that with Gracie Girl. I'm constantly working with her feet to get them back the way they're supposed to be. So we'll get her back foot here where you can see a little better. They wouldn't be so muddy right now, but I had to open the gate to get Gracie and Lola back in the field because they are extreme escape artists, and I still haven't figured out where they're getting out of the field at. And once I do, I will block that area off too. Our girls give us more trouble with trimming their feet than the boys do. Which you wouldn't think it would be that way, but the girls are sassy. But Bella, she snuck out of the gate through the mud as I had the gate open for Lola and Gracie to go back in. So her feet are pretty good. But you can see it folded over a little bit right there. So I'm just gonna trim that off if she'll stand still. It's a workout, trimming goat feet. Me and my husband go over to his dad's house and I've been trimming his goat feet. He's got a bunch of boar goats and he's got at least a dozen or more. And yeah, that's a workout. I gotta say, I got pretty good grip strength now. And I always end up with a blister and I've always got calluses. But that's what happens when you got a farm. You got hard working hands. So, last hoof here for Miss Bella. I got her, I guess, a year and a half ago. This is my second year having her in milk. So I did not get her as a baby. But I got her, I think she's 4 or 5, from an amazing lady a couple towns over that raises Nubians. And I've been so happy with her. She's already trained to the milk stand, so I didn't have to do much with that. But she is super sweet. If you're ever wanting to get milk goats, I love my Nubians. Here they come! Little hooligans. That is Gracie Girl in the front, then Taterbug and Lola. Hi, Lola. Gracie Girl. Gracie is a mini Alpine that I did get from a baby. And I was going to use as a dairy goat, but I did not realize, and I did not do my research enough to know that she was going to have itty bitty little teats, and it just would not be pretty trying to milk her. So she's got beautiful blue eyes, and you'll meet her boyfriend Mimu here in a bit, and they make gorgeous babies. So we just keep them to have. They were our first couple goats that we ever got, and they're funny. Mimu has Nigerian dwarf in him and a little bit of fainter. So his back end will stiffen up every so often out of nowhere. And bless his heart, he'll just fall over stuff. It's pretty comical. But Mimi's pretty awesome. He's definitely a grown Billy now, so you can smell him. So you don't really want to get too close and personal with him, but he's a good boy. And he makes beautiful babies with Gracie here. So I have to take a little bit more off of Gracie's feet, because when I got her, she didn't have very good hoof care. Well, stop it. And she could be ornery. She's such an instigator. Her and Lola are best friends, and yeah, they like to test the fences a lot. And they get out all the time. And Bella's too big to get out. So she just stands in the field and will holler. Here's little Gracie Girl. See those beautiful blue eyes? And she is the best mama. She will take on all the other nannies' babies when they have babies and they're out playing and stuff. she herds the babies together and she mothers all of them. It's the sweetest thing. She could be so ornery, but I love her. And once you have your hands on her, she's fine and she's not trying to run off. But I used to have to wrestle with her to trim her feet because her feet were horrible when I got her. And now they're pretty good. We're getting her friends now. And now we have Lola. Here is Miss Lola. She is my son Austin's 4-H boar nanny. We get 4-H babies for the fair and for him to show off of her. Although this year that didn't happen as planned because it was her first time breeding and her boyfriend Tucker's first time breeding, and they did not breed as soon as we thought they would. So they are getting ready to be put together to make babies again, to have babies born in December or January for next year. Lola here is Gracie's best friend, and they get into a lot of trouble together. And Lola drives me crazy because most of the time she's always hollering about something. We got Miss Lola here from my father-in-law who breeds boar goats. So we've had her since she was a baby too. And she is a beautiful girl and she makes beautiful babies. Sometimes this is the best way to trim the goat's feet, is to just straddle their back end. So then they can't move so much. There we go. So also, when I get the goats up, I will check their lids. So I just pull their lid down here to make sure it's nice and pink, or it'll be reddish. And Lola's lids look good. But I always just pay attention to them every day when I go to feed. Make sure their coats are nice and shiny and full. And these girls have been out of the fence a bit, you know, out eating. Goats won't always drink enough water, so she's a little sunken right here, but she's still fine because I know and pay attention to the goats. I know when something isn't right with them. I'm gonna look at their butts to make sure they haven't had diarrhea or the runs or anything, and they're nice and clean and dry. But we like to use Molly's herbs for worming. I mix that with molasses and give them a herbal worming ball every month. So we stay on top of the worms, and they have plenty of pasture and lots to rotate in and graze. So we haven't had an issue with worms in quite a while. But I also pay attention to, as Bella, her lids won't get as nice and red as, say, Gracie's will. Gracie's stay a nice deeper red. Lola's and Bella's is more of a nice deeper pinkish color. So just know your goats, know the signs that they may give you when something isn't right. And here comes Taterbug. She's our newest Nubian baby. And she's our first bottle baby also, if you've seen her in previous videos. She is the sweetest thing ever, and it took her a while to figure out how to be a goat. So here's little Taterbug's feet. Thought I would get a close-up of them for you all to see. She don't have a whole lot there to trim. She's still a little thing. She's our newest Nubian that I will be breeding next year to have another dairy goat in milk. And I'm super excited about that. I'm starting to feel the rain.
Tucker's got a running shed, so we could do him in there. I think it's real big.
Here is our boar Billy, Tucker. Tucker is in a pen by himself because he doesn't play well with others sometimes. And he was beating up my little Nubian Billy, Marble. But for some reason, Marble just kept going back to him, even though it was happening. So it's almost like he was asking for it. But we had to put a stop to it because Tucker still has his horns and Marble does not. Tucker's feet look pretty good. We stay on top of it. That's not good to let it go. I've seen a lot of goats that their hooves don't get tended to and they end up folding over and growing out and they have trouble walking and it's not pretty.
And action.
These are Austin's 4-H goats. If you all watched my video on us clipping goats, these are the guys that we did. Well, guy and girl. That is David on the left and Caramel, the lighter colored one. So they got haircuts and they already had their feet trimmed. So we don't need to do them today. And that's little Mr. Moon over there in the cage. You know, they have a nice big stall with plenty of airflow up there. And we have a fan hanging up for them so they get plenty of cool air when it's hot and humid. Here's our fluffy baby Shiloh. She's going to get her nails trimmed too. She is our Great Pyrenees, our livestock guardian dog. And she does amazing with all of our animals. We've had her since she was 8 weeks old. You do need good fences to keep them in for sure though, because she did start to wander a little bit. Here's our little Moo. He's a funny little guy. This is Gracie Girl's boyfriend. I also call him my little stallion. He's funny, but he's a good boy. And he's not hateful with the babies, mainly because he's so small and he doesn't have horns. But he also stinks really bad. And that's what happens when you have billy goats, because he pees on his beard.
Action.
So when trimming the goat's feet, when it starts to get a little pink, that's when you know you've gone a little too far. So with practice, you'll know how much you need to be trimming. And you know how short their hooves should be. And I want to make sure both of them are pretty much even.
know.
Here's little Marble. He is our Nubian Billy for breeding the end of this year and next year. So he's still just a little guy. He's got a lot of growing to do. He hasn't really had a hard time either. Austin, if you stop it. So there's all of our goats. I hope you enjoyed this video on trimming feet and the little clip of trimming the dog's nails. I had to get Naya in there. She's my fat hippo and she is my girl. She's my favorite and she knows it. She's the oldest, but she is like, she's not misbehaved, but she's full of herself. So I hope you could get some good shots in there on how to trim their feet. But here soon I'll do a barn tour and a tour of all of our animals and how we have things set up and the feed and everything. So until next time, be sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you next time. This has been